So I had asked about prickly pear fruit to make some prickly pear jelly. I was able to get 3 5-gallon buckets picked this morning, and I'm going to go ahead and get them cleaned up. There's a couple of methods you can use. The first one usually is you can use a fire and burn off all the little cactus needles on there if you look really close. Maybe if my camera will focus, but anyway, there's these tiny little cactus needles. You can either use a torch, a fire, or something like that, burn it off, or you can cut them in half, and then if you turn it out like you do a kiwi, push down on the outside. Try to do this with one hand here, and push down the outside, and then the middle kind of just pops up like that. Take this out. You got this little piece here. Throw it in my pan, stainless pan, because it won't absorb the color. It's a pretty bright purple pink color. Anyway, so then I just kind of run my finger down through there, push out the rest of it. That way I avoid the nice little spines on the other side. So I will go through these, get a whole bunch of this. Probably, like I said, I got 15 gallons of fruit. So it's going to have quite a bit in this. See how far I get tonight, and I may have to finish tomorrow, but I'm going to get as many of these done up like this as I can. There's these little seeds in here. They're pretty hard, so we're going to go through the process or use cheesecloth to separate those out once I get to that point. But I'm going to go through this, turn them all like this, go through the processor, and it'll be pretty liquidy by then. But we'll be making jelly here shortly. Processing the puree that I made from the prickly pear berries that I took all apart there. I'm running it through a cheesecloth, getting out as much of the juice as I possibly can, and then I'm sticking it in the Tupperware there. I will redo that. The stuff from the Tupperware will go through the cheesecloth again, and then I'll kind of squeeze it out, get as much juice out of there as I possibly can. But I run it through the cheesecloth because it'll let me separate the seeds and the little bit bigger stuff, because with the jelly all we want is the juice. We don't want any of the pulp or anything like that. So I'm going to go through the rest of this. I've got about probably 3 more gallons of the mix over there, all pureed up to get through this, and then I will start the process to turn it into jelly. This is the juice from the prickly pear fruit. It's gone through the cheesecloth a couple of times, and then also just a regular wire strainer just to catch any last little bits that might have been in there. So this is just juice by itself, nothing else in there. And I'm going to get this transferred over from the bucket into a pan, get it on the stove, and start heating it up. And then I will add sugar and everything else at that time. So here we have the jelly on the stove here. Now, there's recipes online that call for adding quite a bit of lemon juice. Some say don't add very much lemon juice. I say do it to whatever you think you're going to like. What I do is I've been adding a little bit of the pectin. Take my spoon, dip it in there, cool it all off, see where the jelly is at. If it's I'm just slowly building up to where I want the jelly to be when I get it cooled down. So I started pretty slow with adding the pectin. Add a little bit, let it mix it all in pretty good, let it get back adjusted with that extra pectin in it, and then take the spoon, try it out, see where it's at, and then also at this time, you're adding in your sugar for flavor too, to bring it to whatever sweetness you would like it. So I'm going to keep working on a little bit of pectin, and then see where the jelly's at, add some sugar, go back and forth until I get it exactly where I want it, and then at that point I will start putting it into jars, and then we will do a boiling water bath. So I will get this all squared away and then into the jars. Okay, so here is the final product. We are in the jars all sealed up. Once I ladled it into these jars, they were in the boiling water for about 8 to 10 minutes, somewhere in there. Like I said earlier, all I did was add sugar to taste to where I wanted the sweetness to be, and then I kept adding pectin in slowly till I got the consistency that I wanted out of this jelly. And then we put it into the jar and then into the boiling water for somewhere between 8 and 10 minutes. So that's the prickly pear jam, or I'm sorry, jelly, prickly pear jelly. This is still pretty hot, but you can see the nice dark color there. It literally just came out of the water, so it'll thicken up quite a bit when it cools down. So if you have any questions or comments, please let me know, and we can go from there.